Welcome to the latest episode of Talking Season. I'm your host, Ryan McNeil. I'm thrilled to be joined by Florida Atlantic softball athlete Riley Olson. Riley, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
First question for you is, how and when did you fall in love with softball?
Oh gosh. I think I was probably 6 years old. All my friends. So one of my friends' dad, he was like, all right, I want to start this softball team. And so my whole friend group was like, you know what, like, why not? Let's do it. So we were the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I love
And
it.
we had these crazy uniforms and we were just out there. I mean, little girls just like, yeah, like, let's play, whatever. And I just remember sitting in the outfield. I think I was playing like left field maybe. And I was actually sitting down just picking the weeds. And I was like, well, this is fun. And I just had a great time just like being with all my friends and just hitting the ball and running around. And I don't know, ever since I was super young, just like able to just play with my friends, I was like, I love this. This is fun. Let's keep doing it. And kind of just as I grew up, I, started getting on some better teams, seeing some more competition, and I was just having a good time, honestly.
And as you grew up, you had a really storied high school career. All these accolades, all this success. What was the transition from high school to college like?
Honestly, going from high school to college, I was super nervous because you hear all these stories about college is like super hard and scary and like all this stuff. But me being in high school, I was thankful enough that I went to a high school that our coach was super hard on us and super strict and all of this. So I feel like it kind of just set me up for success because I had all of these habits in place already. Um, like I knew, what I had to do, how to get it done, hustling everywhere. And I knew if I didn't do that stuff, then I would be in a lot of trouble. So honestly, I feel like I was thankful and blessed enough to go to a high school that really set me up for success. And I was able to get into college and be like, okay, I think I can do this. I can hang. Like, it's going to be okay. I'm used to this kind of stuff. So I honestly felt I was nervous, super nervous at first. But once I got into like the groove of things, I was like, all right, I've done this before and, I'll be fine.
As a freshman, you appeared in 13 games before starts. Already this season, with I think about 9, 10 games left, you've played in 33 games. What were some of the goals you had to improve on your sophomore season? And how do you feel that you have improved so far this season?
I mean, I've definitely improved from last season just because last year was kind of crazy for me. Just because of COVID and all of that stuff. I was out for pretty much the entire fall, just with like, I was quarantined for 2 weeks here and then I would come to one practice and then, another quarantine. It was just a crazy time. But I think over the summer, last summer, I played in a summer league and I was like, you know what, like, I want to get on the field. I want to get out there. Like, I got to, step up and do this. So coming into this year, I was really just like thinking, all right, what do I got to do? How do I got to get this done? Like, I know I want to be on the field. I know I want to produce for my team. I want to step in. I want to, be out there and do this thing. So I think my mindset changed a lot of just from kind of just trusting my inner self, being like, I know I can do this. Like, not the only thing holding me back is myself. So just honestly, just trusting myself and being like, it's time to step up and just get out there. So I feel like my mindset kind of changed from like, oh no, like scared little freshman into like more of a beast mode, like, come on, let's get this done energy. So
You mentioned summer ball. I'm used to talking to men about winter ball and playing in Mexico and other different leagues and how it helps them grow.
mhm.
For a softball player, what's summer ball like and how did that help you grow? You mentioned going to beast mode, but
Mhm.
to get your confidence up, to get you more game reps, what's summer ball like for a softball player and how did that help you out?
So summer ball for me, I played in a league in Sarasota. And again, I was super nervous. I didn't know a single person in the league. And I was like, well, here we go. Like, let's see how this goes. Um, and so for us, like, we play one game a day and we practice like just throughout the week. There's like facilities there that we can go in, hit, work out, do, whatever we want to get done and get ready. But for me, it was definitely like the game experience and just, keeping up playing a game every single day. Like, you're going to see a lot of pitching. You're going to like see a lot of balls. I'm an outfielder, so I got a lot of like balls in the outfield, just a lot more experience. And I feel like that definitely helps, like going through again, like just kind of like a roller coaster of, how you're playing and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like it definitely just got me a lot more confidence because I was able to see like, all right, I'm hitting against this pitcher who goes to like this, certain school. And, I did really well off of her. And, this is what I'm capable of. Like, I think it was just seeing like, I can do this kind of stuff. I just had to be able to see it for myself. So now going into, this year, I was a lot more confident. Like, you know what, I've been there and I've done that. And I know what I can do and I know I can do it. So I feel like it just helped a lot with confidence and just experience, of course.
Who are some leaders on your team this year, last year, or even in summer ball that you look up to and have made an impact on you as a player?
I think this year for sure, my left fielder, Sarah Berthium, is a huge leader for me. She's always been, even last year, like she was always like, hey Riley, like let's stay after and take some balls in the outfield. Like, you were really close to catching that one ball, but like, let's stay after, you're going to get it, that kind of stuff. She's always just been like super positive and motivating and like, come on, Riley, like you got this. We're going to do this together. I'm going to get on and then you're going to get on. Like, let's. So I feel like she's definitely always been there. If I'm going through it, she's like, come on, Riley, like, you got to trust yourself. We got this. Always giving me advice or, she's like, yeah, I'll stay after with you. Come on, like, let's do this. And so she's definitely a huge leader for me. Also, just our seniors all together as a group, I feel like all of them in some way have a role on our team that just like, I feel like they just bring us all together and just mold us into like a unit. Cause I feel like without each and every one of them, we wouldn't be the team that we are.
What are some areas that you're trying to lock in with heading into that big championship tournament?
So I think just locking in, I mean, we actually just talked about this yesterday at practice that we were saying, we have 9 games left. It's easy to be thinking like, oh, summer's coming, but it's more of like locking in. We have just like a bigger picture that we want to get accomplished. Like we know from last year, yeah, we want to prove the conference wrong. Like we know what we're capable of and we're just here to like show everyone basically what we can do. And so I think just locking in on the little things, just like just getting the little things done, and still staying confident and trusting myself, just getting more reps. I think just honestly at this point, all of the work is embedded in me. So all I got to do is just trust it and just ball out and have fun and just go out on, I guess, just leave the season on a good note. So I'm excited.
I like talking with athletes about when they've dealt with adversity. I want to know how it's helped you grow on or off the baseball field, softball field. So if you could share a time you dealt with adversity as an athlete or in the classroom and how it's helped you grow.
Going back to last year, again, I'm from Colorado. And so I committed to FAU and I was like, Florida, like, let's go. This is going to be awesome. I didn't know anyone on the team at all. I committed super late. So I was kind of just throwing myself into it. And I was like, well, here we go. This is like the place I want to be. So I'm sure it'll work out. And so I drove down the 28 hours to FAU and got moved into the dorm, and I was rooming with 3 other girls who grew up playing together and they've been like best friends since they were like born practically. And so I'm like, all right, here we go. Don't know these girls, but it'll be fine. And so, the fall is going, I think we had like just a couple practices and it was like, boom, quarantine, 2 weeks, the whole team. And so I'm in Florida. I'm like, well, I live in Colorado. I can't just get on a flight because, the whole COVID thing. And so I went with two of the girls on my team, and we stayed at one of their houses for 2 whole weeks. And I was like, okay, I don't know anyone here, like whatever. And so got through that. And then the rest of the fall, I mean, I got quarantined for 2 weeks at a time, probably like every other, I don't even know. It was insane. It was 8 weeks. And staying in a dorm room 24/7 for that long of a time, like it was so just like traumatic for me, just because I wanted to be on the field so bad. And I remember like I called my trainer and I was like, can I just come like watch practice like from my car, like in the outfield? Like I can just, look through the fence. She was like, yeah, okay, Riley, like, come on, you can, whatever, just stay in the car. And I was like, okay. So I would come to practice and I'd watch them. And I just remember being like, dang, like, I just want to get out there so bad. And so I started working out a ton. Like I called our trainer and I was like, do you have any extra like dumbbells or, like bands or something I can do? So she left them on the sidewalk and I picked them up, and I went to a parking garage on campus, and I would go there every single day at like 6 a.m. and just work out. And just like, I'd bring a speaker, I'd be out there just doing my thing, just thinking like, all right, I'm in the outfield, I'm gonna throw a ball up to myself and then run and catch it. And like I was seriously probably looking crazy. I was by myself on the top of a parking garage. And that was pretty much my entire fall. I was like, you know what? I want to put in the work. Like it was super hard. There was times that I would just sit in my car and just be like calling my mom, like crying. I'm like, Mom, I can't do this anymore. Like I still have 6 more days in quarantine, that kind of stuff. She's like, Riley, you got to get through this. It's going to be okay. Like this is clearly happening to you for a reason. Like bad things are going to happen, but they're only going to happen to you, like, because you can overcome it and you can get through it. And so I'm like, all right, here we go. I can do it. And I did it and I got through it, and it sucked in the moment. But I feel like overall, it just taught me to appreciate the game so much more, because it's so hard when you're on the other side, just trying to peek through the fence in the outfield, trying to like just look in. So it gave me a lot of appreciation and just like gratitude for where I am, because like there's so many people who don't get this opportunity. And I feel like so blessed that I'm able to be on the field, and I'm able to be in the dugout, talking to the coaches, with the players, wearing the jersey. So I just feel like it gave me so much, like I'm so much more thankful and appreciative of the game itself, just because of that whole experience.
I just want you to give a shout out to some people that have helped you reach this point. It could be a coach, it could be a parent, it could be a teammate. This is your chance to give a shout out to someone who's helped you out get to the point where you're at right now.
Well, I got to shout out my trainer from Colorado. His name is Kaiser Perez. I started working with him before I went to college, and he was probably harder on me than any coach, anyone I've ever had. I remember going into a gym and just being like, hey, like I'm looking for a personal trainer, this is what, I'm trying to accomplish, whatever. And he was like, I remember I called on the phone and he answered the phone and he was like, oh yeah, come on in. I got you. He didn't even give the phone to anyone else. He was like, no, like I got this, girl, it's fine. And so I'm like, okay. My first session with him, I was dying. I left the gym and my legs were like still shaking. And I was like, this is a little intimidating. But he would stay, I mean, we'd be working out for just hours, and he's, giving me life advice. And just honestly, I wouldn't be where I am without him, because still to this day, I'll call him like crying, like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know if I can do this. And he's like, talks me through it, gets me through it. And yeah, honestly, I don't know what I'd do without him. But another shout out is to my dad, because he just wants me to succeed so bad. And I know that he's always texting me, like when I was in the quarantine stuff, he would text me like some motivational quote every single day. And some days I'm like, Dad, come on. But just always there for me, always cheering me on, comes to almost every single game, is watching every game. He's texting me after the games, like just your typical softball dad. And honestly, I don't know what I would do without him, because sometimes I hate when he's like, come on, Riley, you really should have hit that ball better or whatever. But I know it all comes from a good place. And yeah, I really appreciate him, my family, everyone. I just couldn't do it without them. So
I love that. I know last year with COVID was probably tricky and everything, and then you had the quarantine. But this season, have your parents been able to fly out to see you? Have they been able to drive to a game a little closer to them? Have they been able to see you play college softball in person yet?
Yes, they have. Funny story.
Perfect.
They were planning on moving to Florida when they like retire and stuff, but then I came to FAU and I don't know. So they ended up getting a house in Fort Myers and they live in Fort Myers now, and it's a 2-hour drive, but I'm telling you, they come every single game, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We can play at 6 p.m. and they'll be there the next day at 11 a.m. for the game or whatever it is. And even like my grandpa and grandma who live on the other side of Florida, they're there, like number one fans in the stands, like Riley. I'm like, hey guys, so super nice, just like having family and just seeing my parents, my grandparents, like my grandpa who's 80 years old and probably should not be driving on the highway is at every single game decked out in FAU. And he's always making sure to be like, Riley, Riley. I'm like, everyone's like, hey, your grandpa's here. So yeah, they've seen a lot of games and it's been super awesome just to, look in the outfield and just seeing them. My dad is in between innings, like, come on, and giving everyone high fives and just all of that. So yeah, it's been super nice just and comforting to see them out there and just like, knowing that what I'm doing, like there's such a bigger like picture and a bigger purpose to all of it. Just making my parents proud is huge for me.
I would love to hear from my final question. Something that we haven't talked about that you want fans of the team to know about you. So some athletes during quarantines have picked up cooking, baking, different hobbies like playing a guitar. It sucks being quarantined, but it gives you an opportunity to find a new passion, find a new interest, learn something new. So I would love to hear something about you that you haven't shared yet that you want fans of the team and me to know about you.
I'm not a very good cook at all. Like I can make pasta. I can make eggs. That's seriously about it. And so I was like, all right, I got to level up. I got to start like, learning how to make stuff because I'm, almost 20 years old. Like this is embarrassing. And so I went on like a whole kick of like making my own food, and I made these like jalapeno poppers and
Ooh.
like poke bowl. And I was like really into it for like a good month and a half, and it completely fell off. And I'm back to just making pasta. So honestly, it was kind of a flop, but I think during my quarantine time, I was very into well, I played tennis a lot, which is super weird, but I would honestly go and play tennis and just with my friends, and we would just, I don't know, mess around for like hours. Um yeah, honestly, I just worked out a ton, and I was super into like um I would be like in my basement doing like these online workouts or something, whatever they're called, and I would just do that. And then I was super into like making smoothies and like my nutrition. And so I feel like it was kind of just a good time for me to like focus on feeding my body and like what is, good for me and what kind of helps me feel good about myself. But yeah, I kind of just did a bunch of weird stuff like the cooking phase. There was like a painting phase when I ordered all of these like canvases and paint, and I'm not artistic, but I would like make these weird paintings and give them like to my family, and they're like, wow, this is so cute. Like really nice. But no, it's not good. But yeah, I had that phase, and I had a lot of like dance parties with my family, and kind of just, I don't know, it was weird, but it was kind of nice for a while just to chill and just figure stuff out about myself, because I feel like life goes so fast that it's really hard to just chill and be with yourself and just sit down and be like, okay, so yeah, I'm not good at painting, but I like it, it's fun. So yeah, just say a lot of different stuff I did.
Riley, thank you for your time today. It's great chatting with you, getting to know you a little bit better. Best of luck on the final 9 games this season and for the rest of your collegiate career.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.